Lord, turn me up.
All right, so let's get into the next topic. Let's talk about rebuilding and the healing process. How do you move on?
Healing. My process. I spent about 2-3 weeks on the couch, just with a cloud over my head. It's just a part of my healing. This is the beginning. I can remember like it was yesterday. I had to move back with my parents. I was on the couch, and my mom came down the hall, and she was like, "All right, cool. You have to get yourself together. You know, I don't let you sit on this couch and, mold over for a couple weeks." So I got my initial kick in the butt from my mama. That was my initial healing process. Just like, okay, let me shake this ish off and figure out how to get myself together.
Hey, bro, ain't nothing like a kick in the butt from moms, bro.
Hey, man, that's what I'm saying,
That's
bro.
gonna get you up for real.
Cause like I felt it. You know what I mean? Like, dang, my mama telling me get your ass up and do what you I'm looking around like, oh snap. You know what I mean? So healing is extremely important because I can't be who I am unless I'm healed. I had wounds, and it takes time to heal up. And it takes a good circle as well to go through that process. It's almost like surgery, dog. You know what I mean? You get cut, shot, got a wound. You got to heal up, rehab. Sometimes you got a therapist there to help you rehab. So very appreciative for all my people that helped me heal up. But yeah, it's a process, but definitely important, especially if you plan on trying to create something in the future.
That's well said. Healing is definitely a process. And I will say this, like, it can always be an ongoing process. Mm-hmm. When I got into the situation of, right, going through the separation and then the divorce, family and friends are extremely important. And you got to have some people that got your back. Rest in peace to my spiritual pops. He passed away this past July, but he was in my corner, like pushing me, like, go, you gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. I'll never forget the New Year's after, she moved out. I was at the house by myself, and my pops, my spiritual dad, he called me, and he was on the phone with me when New Year's came in. And I didn't know how much I needed that. Mm-hmm. When you spend New Year's with your family and, Happy New Year's, hug, and and I went through that. And he was there. And then, my twin brother and my sister and other family members, they were there. My children were part of the healing process. Like, it's crazy because they put so much love into you. Mm-hmm. It's just that pure love.
They help you remember, dog.
Yeah. And that's another thing I'll say too about divorce. You're gonna have some memories. You're gonna have some good memories, some bad memories, but that is a part of your life and who you are. Mm-hmm. I just want to give you a backdrop too. When I was during the separation, I was spending a lot of time with God, and I was doing a lot of healing in the first place because this was going on in 2021. In 2018, my dad passed away. 2019, my mom passed away, exactly a year apart. And then COVID came, and then divorce and separation came. So my mind was just like,
It's a lot.
It's a whole lot, a whole lot going on. And sometimes I think that was the good thing of just having silence and being able to sit still. And listen. That's it. You know, sometimes, man, when you got so much confusion and distractions going on, you can't hear, or you can't realize what's actually going on your insides. You know, and what's going on with your mental. But healing, and this is the interesting thing. God gave me this revelation one time, and I shared it before. But healing has to do with where your heels are. Wherever the healing is at the place where you're moving to, where your process is. You can either, you know, make a decision to move to your healing, or you can sit still and don't try to get healed. I mean, and you know, that's that old adage, he who conceals his disease can never get healed. So you gotta, you know, run to the altar. You know what I'm saying? You got to, unless you don't want to. Because, some people tap out after divorce. They end it. Real talk. Like, they let go, you know? And you have to move to say, I'm going to be better. I want better. And this is what's going to happen. But you got to make your mind up to that, you know? And, like, you got to have somebody in your ear like Coop's mom. Like, yo, get your ass up the go. You know what I'm saying?
You need to go out and just go out and have a good time. I ain't saying you got to do nothing. But.
Hey, but you know what? I will say this too. You know, I want to give a shout out to my lady Joy, because, you know, me and her became friends.
Right.
And she was going through something extremely similar to mine. You know, she was like 20 plus years in the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then so we had a lot in common, and we had a lot of conversation. And because of that was a part of the healing as well, you know. And you know, that's just how it moves, you know. Definitely. But like your mom said, get out there.
Yeah, get out there.
Get out there.
I ain't saying you got
get out there.
Okay. Yeah. My mama said.
Yeah, I know y'all touched on it for a second, but do you feel like you should keep the same circle and mutual friends during that process?
Same circle as your spouse, or my same circle as?
I guess.
Wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, man, I guess the friends that we had, I don't really communicate with them because it was almost like they were her friends, and I just came a part of the friendship. Everything's cordial, but as far as hanging out, nah, I ain't doing none of that. So for me, outside of the family that we're friends, obviously it's just some people that I'm not going to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I.e. a brother, cousin, or things of that nature. But yeah. That's it. Between, I lost my train of thought. Between, I mean, not, I don't communicate. You know, I feel like your circle should be, you know, those that you know got your back. I don't, it's okay to be cordial with, you know, the circle you had, but for your own well-being, I believe, you know, stick to who you know rocking in your corner. It's not, like I said, it's nothing wrong with, hey, how you doing? But until you're completely healed and you good, I wouldn't even go back around that block. You feel me?
That's right.
You know, on my side, you know, I'll say this, like, if they're your friends, they're gonna be your friends, you know. And if they're really your friends, they're not gonna move in judgment either.
Yeah,
that's the best way to move in that. If you feel like it's a little stickiness there, hey, you cool out. You know what I'm saying? For your peace.
Yeah.
And the other side to this is, that's a question about friends, but it's also family involved in this too.
It is.
And that's another side that a lot of people don't realize when you go through divorce, is that still your family too? Now, the thing is, if you created bonds and it's love there, that's going to always be 100. Always be 100, but sometimes that can be a very sticky and scary situation too. Because if, I've learned in life, don't be around people that don't celebrate you. Be around people that love you, care for you, and got your best interests at heart.
Right? Message.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And it's that's just yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Rashawn, man, I know you was, after everything you was doing your thing, you had friendships. So how should you date after divorce?
I would say, one, take your time. And this whole dating world out here is different.
It's crazy, dog. I mean,
yo, it's crazy. Cool, crazy, boy.
It sound like you ready to touch on the word.
Hey, it's crazy because me and Coop done had some conversation. You know what I'm saying? And we like could. You know what I'm saying? But it's like getting out here. Like, okay, I'll say this. If you have matured and you realize, and I'm just being transparent, if you're not out here just to chase tail, you realize half of it, 85% of this out here, it ain't worth it. Because you realize, just getting out here in the game and just hooking up with somebody else, it don't add up. Because
no man's game.
Yeah, it real talk, because it's you realize in life it's more than that. If we rocking and rolling like that, I want to feel something, not just on the physical but the emotional side. Mm-hmm. If you're a grown man or a grown woman, that's what you want. Mm-hmm. And then if you do that and it ain't there, that's an empty feeling. When you talk about sex, I keep talking about my spiritual dad because he put me on the game.
Hey man, shout out to Mr. Vernon.
Yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm gonna say this. I don't mean to cut you off, but to Mr. Vernon, to Miss Covington,
yes.
Who else? To moms, to dad. Man, I appreciate y'all for pouring into Word Life, to pouring into Chris.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be who they are today, and I just want to put that out there.
Appreciate it.
And man, love y'all for that.
Yeah. He put me on to something about sex, and it's amazing. He broke down. He said, you know what sex really means? I was like, what? He said it's self-exchange, sex, and I was like, whoa. He said, so when you think about that, he was like, that make you think about who you having sex with. Do you want to exchange yourself for them? Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's go.
Tell him again, word.
And you think about that, self-exchange. So we know when you get to that maturity, you understand that sex is a spiritual thing, not just a physical thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so getting out here and you dating, because it's they used to say the men is just out here just ready to, these chicks out here.
It ain't my turn. I'm gonna shut up.
Some of these ladies out here, I mean, when I say wide open, like real talk, but it's you got to learn how to maneuver out here, and you got to have your mindset. It's that ain't what I want.
Yeah,
right.
Because
Brandon, man,
cool. What's up, man?
How should you move out here, man?
This man got stories to tell. Dog.
No, I don't. Put that on me, man. I mean, I'll say this. like where it said, in my opinion, the dating scene, I didn't. I'm gonna say I ain't date a lot. To be honest, I mean, I met women.
I like that answer, bro. I like how you did that. I feel we in the same boat on that.
Yeah, I wasn't out there. I wasn't looking. I wasn't out there looking or like going on the scene, but my circle knew my situation, so my circle was like, "Hey, I got somebody you may want to talk to." Oh, okay, appreciate it. That's kind of how I dated, if you want to say that. So if it was a close friend, I'd be like, "Yo, bro, brother out here struggling. Dog, what's up, man?" And it may not have been a brother; it could have been a female friend or a close person that I know. So that was how I got introduced to a lot of people. It was through close people who knew who I was and wanted to introduce me to somebody who they thought would be an ideal fit. So I'll start there. But when you get out there, because now I'm 42, I think during the time of all this, I might have been 38. So I ain't gonna lie, I talked to a 26-year-old. Nah, that ain't it. And nothing against them. It's just that we were in two different places in life. Mm-hmm. And what they wanted to do, it just didn't fit in my equation. So what's the point in wasting time? You know what I mean? That was one thing. On the other spectrum, I've dated older. Mm-hmm. And sometimes older is already settled. This is how they rocking. This is what they doing. Can you fit in this? Can you fit your shape into my whatever? Not like that, but this is what I got going on. You're going to have to get on this boat because I've been doing this for X amount of years. And that may not be the right situation either. Dating is cool. You got to be careful. I would definitely spend a lot of time talking to whomever I would date, conversation, family, everything you guys have asked us. I would probably, during conversation over dinner, ask the same questions. Because, it's real out here. People crazy. And it's hard. But I think when you keep constant communication with God and you talk about it, yo, bro, he brings somebody around the corner, dog. Mm-hmm. Real talk.
Another side to that, too, is, I guess, I ain't gonna say I was dating them, but some women I went out on some dates with. Right. It's a difference.
It is a difference. There's definitely
you see, is thirsty the correct word? No, I ain't gonna say no, but you see, it's just like, okay, it's NCAA time. Yeah. If it's 5 seconds on the clock and they down by 3. They want to do something to get there. I ran into some situations where it was like, okay, you cool. I want to rock with you. Like, let's just rock up. But you like, oh, whoa, I just got out. You know what I'm saying? Just let me move out here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But because you're not like, okay, let me, I'm gonna let you put handcuffs on me. Yeah. They look at you like you dirty and you wrong. And that's like, it's like, hey, I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, and I don't want to call nobody thirsty. I don't want to call them desperate or whatever, but it's a different, it's, did you say thirsty? No, it's thirsty. Nah, but it's interesting because it's like, if anybody know me, I'm a gentleman. I don't try to disrespect nobody, right. But you realize, like, if certain people don't get their way out here, they look at you as the problem. Mm-hmm. Even if you've already, in pretense said, hey, this is how I'm moving, just having a good time and eating some wings, Right. Yeah.
But, the ratio messed up. So it's what, 2 to 1, 3 to 1? I don't know.
So might be more than that.
Might be more than that. Because I had a conversation with Cuz. What's up, Cuz? I know you listening to me. And you know, they showed me where a woman wanted to talk to them so bad, she cashed out them cash.
Cool.
Ain't no
Just
way.
Cash money.
Just for the conversation.
Cash money.
We're doing
Just-
this for the
just-
99
And she wrote, "Yo, I want to talk to you. Like you ain't called me since I put
Come
your
and talk to me. I really wanna.
No.
Hey,
And when they sent me that, I was like, bro, is it like that? He was like, cuz, why you think I just sent you the screenshot? They crazy.
Well, did
Yo,
he send
that's
the money
wild.
back?
no.
No, he ain't said that.
She crazy.
Oh, we
Ain't no going back.
don't cuss. We ain't doing that.
No, he ain't saying that back.
So I got a buddy, and he is like newly single right now.
Yeah.
And he's on these dating apps.
Oh,
And like, so I'll see him and at work, and he's like, "Yo, Rashawn, check this out." Yo. I'll be like, "Yo." And I thank God I never got on them apps or whatever, because this what is it, Bumble and Tinder, yo.
hey,
Bro.
hey, I ain't even gonna lie. I was on air last one.
Hey, but it's crazy because it's like, and he'd be like, "Yo, I hooked up with that one, I hooked up with that one." I'll be like, "Yo," I mean, it's like,
It's trickery, dog.
yo,
It's a game. It get you hooked. Brian go out with now one on, cause I ask questions, and it's like after a while, it's like, bro, this is a waste of my time. But it's one of those things where, like you say, this whole social media, it just draw you. It's a combination of things. It's like, ooh, and then these pictures. And reality is just not, because I'm gonna tell you
some catfishing.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I was on a couple of them sites, them dating sites. It was just I was in the house and had nothing to do. Man, I give these cats $10 for a month or whatever it was. I don't know. Anyway,
So you had the subscription.
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you why I had the subscription.
Okay.
Because I would go on it and then I'd be like, bro, this ain't for me. I delete it. And then I get into a little lonely moment. I'll be like, let me pull this back up.
Yeah.
And when you pull it back up, you got about 9 people.
Okay.
But you can't see them.
Okay.
Unless you pay the money. I got this $10. Let me see what it is.
At least for 30 days.
That's the business plan.
But yeah, to be honest, I saw one of the women in Walmart. And I was like, bro, you gotta be kidding me.
Stop playing.
Stop playing.
Oh man.
And
She ain't hit you with the foolery.
hey man, maybe it was just one of them things where y'all just going to Walmart. Hey, I don't care who in here, but
Maybe if you saw her in Target, it would have been different.
maybe that is Target. You're exactly right. But yeah, those sites it was just a filler at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was one of those things where I had to learn, like, yo, this is not you.
That was part of your healing process.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was. I spent a lot of time like back and forth thinking
And
all
then
those
you was
things.
getting your mental right. Like, yo, this ain't really me.
Because I could have actually acted all that out.
Yeah, you could have.
Don't get me wrong, man. They were hot.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah. But yeah.
Hey, you know what? I think that's a part of like your maturation is like saying no.
Bro, let me tell you.
Like, I think that's a part of it. Like, you get that. Like, you know
because
what?
you understand.
Yeah.
If I lay with you,
Yeah.
and I don't really know what you got going on in your life, and this is serious. You know what I'm saying?
And it's diseases out here.
Yeah.
It's I mean,
What?
real like
bet you-
I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, it's crazy out here in the game, and it's crazy because you got a lot of these young ladies that's dealing with older guys too, because they got cake, they got money or whatever, and now they can go pop a blue pill and do what they do. And these guys is
you
giving
talking
these,
about them old heads.
Yeah, them old heads. and they got diseases out here giving it to some of these young chicks. And then all right, you start messing with it, and then you got the higgity fi jiggity. You like, yo, what's good? And you like, yo, I done messed up my whole, movement out here. But again, that comes to you being like, thinking before you do it. That's like something I try to tell my children. Like, think about what you do before you do it. Yeah. And if I'm telling them that, I gotta tell my own damn self the same thing.
Come on,
So it's like, it's real life. It ain't simulation. It's real life. Yeah.
All right, man. Y'all done gave us the lowdown on the dating game out here. So, are y'all in a relationship right now?
You want to go first, Coop?
No, I'll let you go first.
Okay. I am in a relationship. I'm in a very, very, very good relationship. It is. I will say this. It's one of the. It is the best relationship I've had in my adult life.
Let's go, bro.
I love it.
And it's crazy because the scripture says a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Yes, sir. But the what we don't look on, and I wish more pastors preached on this.
We'll break it down to us right now, though.
It says a man that findeth a wife, she's already a wife before they get married.
You better come on.
And then he has to be a man before he gets married.
You better talk about it.
So it's like, and it's like, it's like sometimes in life you have to go through some things.
Come on, bro.
To get the things that you want.
Come on, bro.
And those things sometimes they're gonna smell like. They're gonna feel like it. They gonna, it's just gonna be what it is. But if you don't stop and you keep going, I think a lot of times too, when you go through bad situations, the enemy tries to trick you and harden your heart.
Yeah.
And as we know, God is love.
Right.
So we got to remember, to keep that love in our heart, because, and I go back to what I was saying about forgiveness earlier. If you don't allow forgiveness, you don't get healing in the first place. That is you got to, when I said your heels represent where your healing is, your heels better be at forgiveness. You got to get there. Right. Because if you don't get there, it just ain't going to work. It just ain't work. So, it's a beautiful thing because we both have the same mindset. And we have things in common, and there's things that we like together.
Right.
And I will say this too. This is a bit of advice. Have more things in common than you don't. And I give this as advice to, say, your spouse likes something and you don't really like it. Try and take some interest in it.
Yeah. It makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference because I'll say this, you want, and just understand this, I'm going to say this, you want newspaper love. And this is what I mean. Newspaper love is, back in the day when they used to have newspapers that came in the evening or in the morning. Right. If you were sitting around some coffee and you was with your spouse, y'all could have a conversation and talk. Right. I mean newspaper love because you got things in common, and those things are what hold you together. Because if you have a family, your kids are going to graduate and get out of the house.
Come on, word.
They're going to move away. They're going to do their thing. They're going to have their own family. But it's just going to be you and that other person in the house. And you don't ever want to come out the room and be like, who the hell is this? And they be like, who the is you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You never want to get that. So you got to have things in common. So if it is something that, you like to do and they like to do, or it's just opposite, take the time to just invest and find out something about them. Or whatever they like to do, because it'll build that thread. And that's what I like about us. You know what I'm saying? We dope like that with each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that comes too from experiences, and then you know what you want now.
I was just about to say that.
That's it. Yeah. You know what you want. It's like, I like to cook. like sometimes you use these ingredients and then you'll try to cook it again. You're like, yo, it's missing something. What is that something that is missing? But when you find it, you like, this is what it is.
That's what's up.
You know, I mean, and be like, whoa, this is what it really could be. You know, so yeah.
Yes, me as well in a relationship. I am very appreciative of everything that I've went through because I wouldn't be me right now in this relationship. And just picking back off of what Word said, like, bro, there's so many things that I have did recently or in this relationship that I typically would be like, nah, I'm chilling. But through experience in life, no, I tried.
Yeah.
And when you try those things that you typically wouldn't, your friendship is deeper. The love grows. That other person sees, oh, they're willing to do something that they hadn't even tried before.
They respect that.
They respect that. But yeah, to answer your question, I am in a relationship. I feel like, well, I know God sent them.
Yeah.
That's no question about that.
Me too.
I mean, so with that being said, God sending you, I know that there's no limit to where we can go. So if you listen, thank you, love you, and let's let's build this foundation and make it beautiful for everybody.
Yeah, and you know, like I said earlier, like find somebody that celebrates you.
Yeah, man.
You know, like I often go. I have speaking engagements. I go to places to speak and things of that nature. You know, she there. Like, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, first one up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you appreciate that. That make you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then celebrate them too.
Bro,
you know, so
me.
it's like it's a beautiful thing, but that goes back to that reciprocation we was talking about.
That's it.
Like it's like if you start moving in there, you get in a rhythm, man.
It's beautiful.
It's
dog.
beautiful, man.
It's beautiful.
You know,
man.
And I'll tell you this too. I love her too. You know the reason why is because like she met my children and she's opened up her heart towards my children too.
Right.
And it's a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? And I will say, you know, like, you know, both of my exes, they've met her and it's no beef.
Right.
Everybody is copacetic. Everybody is, you know, cordial with each other, and I respect that. That's a sign of maturity too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that needs to happen more, especially within black families. You know, because you got to have an end goal. End goal is for the kids to see you moving in the right direction. Right. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, quick question for y'all guys: Would you guys marry again? And does divorce make you nervous to marry again?
I would marry again. And no, it does not. When you found the right person, ain't nothing that can move me. You know what I mean? But you gotta find that right person, and you gotta know it. And I think that comes with communication to God. Like I have a lot of talks. I drive a lot at work, so that's kind of like my sanctuary. Would that be accurate? To the point where your relationship got to be with God first. Let me say that. So I got my relationship with God got to a point where I knew He was going to take care of me. To the point where, okay, when the right person comes across, as long as my relationship with God is intact, He gonna take care of the rest.
I second that emotion right there. A lot of people don't realize that it takes faith to love.
It does.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to, like, you know, was it Corinthians, where it talks about love. Like that is like one of the most gangster scriptures in the world, because it talks about the different elements of love. Like you gotta love when you don't feel like loving.
Come on.
And and yes, I will marry again. And you know, I'll say this, you know, about divorce. C and Coop gonna say something here, but divorce, the original meaning of divorce, if you break it down, I think it's a French word.
Word life is speaking right now. You got to understand why we call them word life. Keep going, word.
So, divorce, the word divorce came from force. Have you ever heard like a vortex? Vortex, like power. So I want you to think of it in this way, but in a positive way. Think of like a crazy storm, a hurricane or a tornado. A marriage is like a hurricane or a tornado in a good way. It's just moving strong.
Yeah.
But when you have a divorce, it means division of force or dying force. That's why it's called divorce.
Word life.
So it's like, so say like in its healthiest, you're a category 10 storm.
Right.
Just
tearing it up together.
But, you know, when you're going your separate way, it's just like slicing up. And you ain't as powerful as you used to be anymore.
Because of tear, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about that is, it's like you can't be afraid of like marrying again or meeting that person that's that other force where you combine, you know, like form like Voltron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
just, you can't be afraid of that, because if you're afraid of that, you possibly gonna miss your purpose that God called you to in life.
That's real.
That's just what it is, because like God has always made us all a force. But like, what was that song with Fabulous and who was it? You know, when we come together,
movement by myself.
Yes. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But when we come together, like,
you be singing too? You be busting out with songs?
I do.
Y'all
That's
cousins.
Okay, yeah. I ain't know that.
You know, but that's the reality of it. Like when you come together, like y'all own this presence, man. And when you have a conscience of that, it's like you can't be stopped.
Can't.
So, yeah.
Can't.
Yeah.
Man, so what advice would you guys give to couples that may be on the verge of divorce or in some type of turmoil?
Do you both want it?
Is it worth it?
And can you get through the fight together? So I think if you can answer those questions, try it.
What was that song by New Edition?
I thought someone was about to sing through the fire, but y'all missed it.
What was that? Sunny Days, Everybody Loves Them. But tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? Like that's a real, like that's the other thing. When you're going through a divorce, like every song that come on, you like, what the, you know what I'm saying? But what's real about it is, it's like you like, can you really stand the rain?
Right.
Like it's gonna be some good times, some bad times, some wrong times. Sometimes you wrong, sometimes they wrong, sometimes you right. Is it worth it? Now I'm gonna say this to you. I know I talked about, you know, Mr. Vernon earlier.
Yes, sir.
But me and my lady, me and Joy, when he was, you know, starting to, you know, his health was starting to fail. We would go by his house and shout out to Miss Charlotte, his beautiful wife. Prayers and love to you and the whole Wilson family. And we went by there and they said, we want to tell you something. We was just talking about marriage and life. And something so powerful that they said to us, I'll never forget it. They said they wish they could have all the time that they had in which they had an argument or fuss over a little thing, and they went to work upset with each other and was mad at each other. At the end of his life, and she knowing what was going on, they just said they wish they could take that time back and have it. And they was like, you know, Sean and Joy, the little things, that mess, just push it to the side. Just keep loving each other and keep caring. Because that stuff ain't gonna matter. You know, when you just bickering over something that's so small. And again, you know, I said it in the beginning, we start taking each other for granted sometimes. We take each other, we you know, there's somebody in this world today that their husband or wife left home and they didn't make it back home. That's the reality of this situation.
Right.
And when you look at your partner, you look at your spouse, you look at the one you love, you're like, yo, you should be grateful and thankful that they there. But we get so used to them coming in the house. We get so used to them, baby, what you want to eat. But it can be one day where you wish to pick up that phone and call them, you know, and it doesn't happen. So it's like you know, I'll say this, man, if we can get out of the mindset of always thinking that we got tomorrow, we got another hour, we got 2 hours, and be so in the present within your marriage to say, okay, they matter to me,
Right.
and it reciprocates. I think that's where we can stop a lot of the divorces and a lot of the like, well, you know what, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Just be in the presence and being grateful, man.
Amen.
That's good.
Definitely another word, boy. For real, man. Do you think it's possible to be friends after a divorce, or?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think, well, you have to have two mature adults, number one. But I think friendship is possible. I mean, typically there's some time that you probably don't talk. Well, I'll just speak from my experience. Like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I mean, outside of the kids. But then, interesting. But then, you know, as you date, as you find out more about yourself, you start to think. I'll say I started to think, which made me be like, hey, let me pick up the phone and ask her this from a friendship perspective. But that takes time. I mean, the hurt has to get over it, or just the mere fact of, you know, we ain't together. That has to all be gone. And then you just have to really look at them for, you know, the good qualities that they may have, and just keep that and rock with that. But yeah, it is possible. I mean, I ain't talking, you know, nothing consistently, but, you know, hey, how you doing? I'm glad everything's going well, you know?
I agree with what he said, especially if you have children.
Right.
Even if they are grown or you know, adolescent, or, you know, little kids, you're going to have some commonality with that. And if both people are mature, because you got some people that just act a damn fool out here.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't vibe with them like that. You can't move with them like that. And you just have to say, okay, you know, that's what it is. That's how it's going to be, you know. But it is a place, you know, again, you know, maturity and just wanting to move in the right way. If people get tired of like fussing, they don't fuss no more. You know, I mean, and that's just what it is. And then you realize, like, I don't want that stress. Yeah. So let's figure out a way, you know, to get beyond that and move accordingly. And what I've learned too, a lot of times when people aren't together and they don't have that relationship title anymore, they kind of work better with each other than when they did before. You know. And that's crazy. It's like that. But
what you think that is, Word?
I think that sometimes it's too much stress on the title, or too much stress in the situation, or you're just toxic with each other. Right. You ain't together no more, so it don't matter. You know, I mean, I mean, really. Yeah. I think that's how it works. But you know, it can work that way. You know.
So man, I know you just touched on the kids. How do you prepare the kids for divorce?
I don't think there's no preparation. I think you just have to communicate clearly if they're old enough to understand, and just, love on.
You gotta love through that thing.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah,
that was one of the hardest things that I had to do, or we had to do, and I'll never forget the night that we did it. Because just to give you a backdrop, in the home, she had been packing up her stuff, so it was boxes in the house, and I would come home every day and I have to see these boxes. And the twins at that time, they were younger and they knew that we were moving, but they didn't know Daddy wasn't moving. So one day we had to tell them, and we set them down and told them. And they just cried their little hearts out. And, I cried like a baby too. And it hurt because they were used to seeing Mommy and Daddy. And then too, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't, I'm trying to figure out, like, what does this even mean? Right. Like, I know it's happening, but what does this even mean? And so what you have to do is, like, you just got to love them through this. And you got to be transparent with them.
Yeah.
Like, even when they're children, they understand. Right. And, ask God for wisdom to say, hey, how do I explain this to them? Yeah. What do I say in this situation? And it'll work out. Kids are that's what I've learned. Kids are super resilient. They like basketball resilient. Go down, back up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of times I think we mess up by not telling them the truth.
Yeah. I think for me, my oldest kind of knew what was going on, but I think from the kid's perspective, when there's not a lot of stress in the house or there's not a lot of battling going on, it feels like home. You know what I mean? Like a warm home. So for me, with my two older ones, it's like, okay, we get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think you definitely got to be transparent with it.
And my oldest daughter, Kaylee, she's a freshman in high school. When this happened, I think she was like in 7th grade, 6th grade. And that's my daughter from my previous marriage. She was part of my healing. She saw when Daddy was upset. She saw when, I had some tears in my eyes.
Yeah, man.
And she would be like, Daddy, I love you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And just to hear my child say, are you okay?
Yeah.
It was crazy because, and she was, just showing, like care.
Yeah.
And it blessed me because I'm like, yo, like we're raising her correctly. Like she's been raised right to actually, like I can't explain.
It's you showing yourself love in a different being.
That's it.
Man.
Oh, that's it. And it's like that seed has been sown and you didn't know it was gonna come back at that time.
At all.
But it came back and it's like
back. Just like, and it was
exactly
what
the
you
time.
need.
Yeah. That's the best way I can
I've
say
had it happen before.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, okay, I can stand up now. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty for the tears sometimes, man.
Oh, I got me in tears.
Me
over
too,
here,
for
man.
real. I'm out of there.
No, it's real, man.
Yeah.
It's real.
That's real.
I
bro.
appreciate my kids. Shout out to Dylan, Mill, and Devin. And to piggyback off that, man, my kids told me something I thought I would never do. We all with the boys play football, and I've always worked with them. And I think one of my kids said, "Dad, why don't you coach?" I'm like, "Well, man, I ain't no coach, man." They looked at me crazy.
But they saw something in you that you didn't even see.
Didn't know it. Yeah. Didn't know it. And let me tell you, like, my youngest, he would be like, because we always play sports. Sometimes I coach, sometimes I don't, just to give myself, like, just to be a parent. And he'd be like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, yo, I'm just let you play. I'm gonna be a parent, check you out. But you a coach. I'm like, you know. But it's crazy how your own can see something in you that you can't even see in yourself. Mm-hmm. But what's even a blessing is when they come out the mouth with it and they tell you. Mm-hmm. And I've had to say to myself, like, yo, my son telling me this because I need to hear it. Like, I need to be telling myself this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that, because them telling me, yo, dad, you a coach, it made a way for me to be a coach. Mm-hmm. And I probably wouldn't be at that position if it wasn't for the kids. And I did have some people in my younger years tell me the same thing, but I didn't see it, or I didn't believe it. So those kids, they are very aware, and we just have to make sure we pour into them the correct things, because they may have to give us something. It may not be like, but I'm talking about from the heart.
You know, that's the beautiful thing about your children. They know you in the light and in the dark.
Yeah.
They know, you know what I'm saying, your dirt. They know when you're clean. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same way when you are towards your children. You know the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. And it can definitely be a blessing in that manner. Definitely.
So, man, I know you were speaking on, you know, just communicating with the kids and being transparent with the whole situation. How is co-parenting going right now? Is it easy or is it complicated?
I'm gonna go first in this. Thank you. It's doing well. It's doing quite decent. And again, I think that's maturity and wanting the best for your children. You know, with my first marriage, me and her, we get along extremely well. She real good people, you know, awesome mother, and it works. Like, you know, and you know, the mother of the twins, my recent, you know, divorce. We've grown into where we are right now. And that's the thing. In anything, you want to grow into something, and it's growing into that. It's growing. It's good, you know. So
it's good, man.
Yeah. Shout out to the growth. Co-parenting. Well, in my situation, 2 out of the 3 kids live with me full time. So when you talking about co-parenting, I mean, I'm mom and dad. That's co-parenting. It's okay. You just have to have 2 willing vessels, and man, these kids take time. I mean, they take up your time and all that stuff, but they're your children. So co-parenting for me, kind of lopsided, but it's cool. I am, you know, it's a work in progress. But hey, hopefully one day it'll be great. Co-parenting. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's people take time to grow up and mature. You still got to show them respect because you chose to marry them, have children by them. So the respect is always there, but it could be a little better for me, yeah, if we being transparent.
And, you know, I'll say this, too. You know, I respect my children's mothers.
Yeah, no question.
And I say that, too, because in a situation, my daughters don't live with me, but, you know, I have them, you know, some weekends or whatnot, and I'm ever present in their life. They spend more time with their mothers, so I will say I'm thankful for their mothers and them being mothers to them. Mm-hmm. You know, and I respect that. You know, this, like, when you go through a divorce and the I don't know, it's like so many, it's like picture divorce being a building, and there's so many different rooms in that place.
Right.
So many different hallways in that place.
Right.
It's like you have to figure out this place. You gotta map it out. Mm-hmm. You gotta learn it, and that happens over time.
Yeah.
Happens over time.
It does.
I will say, be present in your children's lives however you can. If it's a phone call away, or if it's a FaceTime away, whatever, if it's a text away, do that. Mm-hmm. Be that. If your children call on you and they need you, be that. Do that. And it's gonna work itself out. Someone that I dearly love once told me something, and she said to me, it may not be the quantity of time, but it's about the quality of time. And that blessed me, because I was having a fight with, I'm not able to see my children all the time. When you're a father, you want that. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of the reasons why it broke me down when I came into that house and I didn't have that no more. And it was a thing, it's crazy because it was a thing I didn't ask for. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I think some men silently deal with when this comes to this situation, because traditionally the children do go with the mother. Traditionally, but in his situation, it's a little different, mm-hmm. And that's how divorce can be different. Mm-hmm. It ain't, what I'm saying? It ain't like all the same, Right. But it's cool that you got me and him both here, and you can, figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see how he cleaned it up?
Yeah. All right, man.
Figure it out, man.
Yeah, man.
In closing question, man, does communication make a relationship successful?
Communication is the key, as the cliche goes. Bro, if you ain't talking, I'm talking about everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. If you're not,
everything to me.
Okay. Yeah, every night in that spirit to hit you on the word.
You related to? I mean, you in between us, I mean.
But no, communication. I've come to find out that whatever God drop in my spirit, I'm telling her, what? I ain't keeping nothing.
We just had a conversation the other day, didn't we,
feel
dog?
me? What?
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? Like, if they the right one, we talking. Why not? Mm-hmm. If you got my back, I should be able to be comfortable enough to come to you with whatever's on my heart, mind, and soul. Mm-hmm. And that builds a stronger foundation. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you very much.
So it's extremely important, and communication is nonverbal as well. Mm-hmm. I think we miss that sometimes.
Come on, word.
How we respond to the other, how they respond to us.
Yeah.
Do we have an attitude? Do they have an attitude?
Yeah.
Pops used to tell me he got me to a point of understanding. It was like, hey, even he said, communicate with your wife, communicate with your spouse. He said, but sometimes know when to communicate. Mm-hmm. That's the timing. Just being transparent. He said, don't go in there crazy, acting stupid, saying something off the wall, and she on her time cycle or whatever. You about to have a fight, dog. You know what I'm saying? And he taught me this. He said, study your wife. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He used to tell me, he's like, study her. Mm-hmm. No, a lot of times we just off the rip. What you doing, dog? Yeah. It's certain times that you can talk about certain things. It's not saying that you withholding information, but you talking at the right time.
Yes, sir.
It's just the government. If something crazy happened, president might not just come out and speak right now. He got to have all the information ready, and he gonna tell us what we need to know. Right. You know what I'm saying? On a need to know basis, but in a good way, because sometimes you can say stuff and somebody finna jump off the bridge. You know, you just have to, and I believe that comes with wisdom. Like, you know, wisdom matters. I think that is the one thing that the husband and the wife both need to pray for is wisdom. The Bible says that wisdom was with God before the foundation of the world, before he built everything. Wisdom was there. It also says that wisdom is the principal thing. The principle actually means the first law. That's what a principle means. It's the first thing. Like if we put wisdom in front, like everything will fall into place. You know, like a lot of times we get into some bad situations because we didn't have no wisdom with the situation.
Explain to the public wisdom, making good decisions, sound decisions. What else?
I mean, so wisdom comes from also being able to hear from God.
There you go.
Like he said, a sound decision. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Sound mind means to be thinking correctly, also that you can hear the sound of the word of God. So if you get that, like it just works better. It works better. So like, you know, in closing, I'm like, yo, you just need to ask for wisdom throughout your day, right? You know, but and you definitely need that, like with raising your children, and you need that with your spouse,
right?
Because, you know, as men, we work hard, we get tired, we come in the house. What if you come in the house and your wife is like, yeah? You just gonna be like, yo, and you might just shut down. But if you have wisdom in the situation, you might be able to be like, hey, babe, give me a few minutes and we can get together and we can talk about this. Right. Like I said, you know, a soft answer turn up the way wrath sometimes. And we need to, you know, like move like that.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Y'all fellas been a blessing.
Yes, thank y'all.
The podcast, man, for real. We appreciate y'all. I would ask you to drop some gems or quick gems.
What you talking about
for the people? But he just dropped
the whole episode, dog.
Seriously.
What you mean, man?
You know what you score, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out. Hey, nah, for real, word. You special, dog. Man, we love you, man.
Any questions y'all got for?
I mean, y'all did great.
I want to tell y'all something. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Yeah, man.
Y'all don't understand, like, you know, this on some like kingdom business type stuff.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah.
If you remember, I'm gonna give you something. If you remember, we was writing on the chalkboards about 5-6 years ago. I'm gonna bring you around the corner. We was writing on the board about 5-6 years ago. Wow. We had the Betterment Podcast. We had something else, and then we had the Betterment Society. Yeah. So life happens. Life happened to me. Life happened to Word. I think C was. He was okay. Yeah, he was. I'm not saying he ain't had no hurdles to overcome. Yeah. But we was in some fiery fires.
We was in trenches at that
time. And just talking about kingdom business and continue to push the agenda forward, man. I just want to say to you, Chris, like keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. Not only you, but the cast as well. I'm saying you because I know you more than everyone else. Shout out to Cuz, though, to my left. But yes, in that room, shout out to Ave, too.
Ave, what up, what up?
Yeah, no Fridays for him. On that board, we wrote A Better Society. Yeah, and I don't know what y'all are doing, but y'all are creating a better society. Yes. And even though we may have not seen it come to fruition, it's still coming. And I appreciate you and you for coming together and realizing this is something not only that we need, but other people need to hear it as well. So shout out to the Mary Bunch. Man. Shout out to you, Chris. And yeah, man, it's all love, dog.
Hey, I celebrate y'all, man. Yeah. Like just sitting at the table and seeing love, black love.
Right.
Like married people that want to do something positive,
Yeah.
and say, hey, I'm willing to fight for mine.
Right.
Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like, so keep going.
Yeah, and I would say, man, keep praying together.
Yes.
When you do stuff like this, sometimes you get attacked from different angles and areas. So you gotta keep your house tight. You gotta keep your marriage tight, relationship tight. Even if you don't want to say something, but it needs to be said, you gotta say it. So I just want to encourage y'all to continue to be humble, honest, and humble, open, and what is the other one? Transparent. There you go. To each other. And I just feel like God gonna take care of the rest for y'all.
Yes, sir.
Real talk.
And one more thing, like, I don't know, each other's prayer life, and if you're not a big prayer, just like during the day, just say, God, cover my husband, cover my wife,
Right.
and just say, Lord, just protect them and bless them, and know their heart. Just do that, like, just so simple, man. And you guys will be surprised, like, the bond that creates,
Right.
because prayer is spiritual, and you and your spouse, y'all have come together. And it's a spiritual tie, even though you're physical. It's a spiritual tie.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna. It's crazy because the scripture tells us that husband and wife should cleave together.
Yeah.
And not being disrespectful, but women have cleavage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the breasts, but there's a slight difference right in the middle.
Right.
It's just a little bit of separation. That's the only separation you need right there.
Because
you're still a unit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And close together. You know what I'm saying?
But spiritually.
Yeah, but spiritually, that's just it. Like, y'all was talking about the independence. That's as far as independence y'all need. Right one, left one. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you know what I'm saying? That's your because I'm telling you, that's a force to be reckoned with. Amen.
Amen. Yo, y'all know what it is. Add your thoughts on the episode in the comments. Comment below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Yo, we appreciate everyone who's tapping in, listening every couple of weeks. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And remember,
the wedding is only the beginning.